Recently, I've been building a lot of projects and I've been using a wide range of different programming languages and stacks. And normally my way to go these days for getting these things very fast out in the open is something like a full stack remix or Next.js, or maybe you're going to use Laravel or something, you know. It's all good. Next to that, I would use something like a Supabase, right? Supabase, Postgres, the good old Postgres is a beast. It's a dinosaur of a database. You can do literally everything with that. But for my next project, which I'm building right now, I needed to have some kind of a backend. Well, I wanted to use Go, right? I don't want to use everything in TypeScript. TypeScript is okay-ish, but hey, if you can avoid it, why not? So I needed to have some kind of a Go backend, and somebody said, hey, Anthony, why don't you explore Pocketbase? And I knew that Pocketbase was some kind of a Supabase-ish thing, open source, that you can deploy and just use like Supabase or Firebase, whatever, some kind of in these range of tools. But the cool thing is, and I didn't actually know that, is that you can import Pocketbase as a library in your application. Then I said, hey guys, I'm gonna use Pocketbase on top of my remix. And some guy said, hey, that's the way to go, but you should compile everything client-side into an SPA, embed that into your Pocketbase app, and then you basically have a single binary with your database, your front end, and your back end. So you have one file that you basically just copy over to some kind of a server, some VPS, you run it, and you're good to go. That's so simple that the people are doing this should win the Nobel Prize of simplicity. And I'm a simple man, so that's what I did, and I'm gonna show you how. So the thing is, it's very simple. So I have this application, it's a folder, and inside of that folder, I have a main.go file. I have a main.go file, which basically imports Pocketbase. Very simple. Pocketbase.new. You can hook into some things. You can extend it with some routes. You can build your own API on top of that. Basically, you can do whatever you want, right? I also have a UI folder. And this UI folder is nothing more than just a remix single page application, right? If you want to know how to do that, it's just a remix SPA template. Simple. And inside of this UI, we have this embed.go file. So this embed.go file, I basically yoinked this from the Pocketbase. You see, it's still this Pocketbase thing, the Pocketbase comment here. Let me quickly delete this. Right. So this file basically embeds the build client. So what is a build client? The build client is basically when I do this, right? When I say npm run build, right? If I do this, then it's going to build my front-end application into a folder, which is called the build/client folder. And inside of this folder, I can find my assets, of course, my favicon, and my index file, and then these logos, I think they are default from Remix that I need to remove, right? So it's basically a compact folder with everything you need for your front end, right? Your complete client. And this file, this embed.go file, basically embeds with embed.fs, which is so amazing in Golang. It's the most beautiful thing I ever seen. I'm just saying, hey, embed me everything from the build client folder. And then I do this, which is basically fs sub. So I remove the prefix, the build client prefix. So it's just going to be in everything. It's going to be serve everything what's inside the build/client folder, if that makes sense. And what I'm doing here in my main.go, and so what fs.embed does is basically it embeds all these files into your binary if you build it. Simple, right? So you don't need to have a separate folder where you need to point to. It's just inside of your Go application. It's inside your binary, which is amazing, right? So, and then I have this shamelessly copied from Pocketbase as well, which is basically router get. It's a wildcard thingy, and we do some cache stuff. And we have some middleware, which is the gzip middleware, and that's it, right? So very important is you have this app static, and then you have this boolean, and this is basically telling the handler that it should fall back to index. So why is that? I will show you later why that is, right? So it's very simple. So how do I deploy this stuff? Well, the only thing I do is I build this with the command I just run. Then I can go into my terminal and I can just say, I'm in my root, right? I'm in the root folder here, and I can just do go build, and that's it. right? So now Go is building my application. It's done, and normally it should output this binary here. It's of course big because my database is also embedded inside of it. And it's going to be the run base executable. And if I run this, run base, right, then, wait, what's going on? I need to do run base serve. And this is going to serve my whole shebang, right? My database is in my run base binary. My front end is compiled in my front end, in my binary. And my backend is also inside of the same binary, right? If I refresh that, you can see I'm on my application and everything just works, right? API, my requests, probably I don't, yeah, I have some requests here. Yeah, it just works, it's amazing. A developer writing TypeScript, right? Something like this, script. Let me see what Flux is gonna do that. So for the people that don't know what Runbase is, it's not yet online, but it's basically one-click models for you to use in your AI applications. It's simple as that, right? So you see, this guy is, it looks like WebDev Cody actually, not gonna lie. So that's that. So what do I mean with this thing? Because it basically is a flag. This Boolean cost me some gray hairs, and I don't have hair, so that's very bad. If we don't do this, right? If I say it's to false, I need to build the whole shebang again here. Let me do this real quick. Where's go build here? Come on. Yes, go build. Voila. Let me run it again. So if we don't have this flag set to true, what's going to happen is everything is going to work here, right? You see, API requests, I can go to my credits, which I don't have. I can go back to, I can do all that stuff. But the problem is that if I press enter directly from my browser, from my URL bar, it's going to break. Why? Because it does not fall back to the index file, right? Now it thinks it needs to find a static file in this build folder, models, Flux One Dev, playground, but that file doesn't exist. The folders doesn't exist, the file don't exist. So that's why this thing, and it's very important because if you're gonna do the same, you might end up in the same problem where you're not sure what the hell is going on. Well, you are warned. So you need to set this to true because this is going to fall back to your index. You know what I mean? It's going to fall back to the index HTML, right? So if I do the whole shebang again, go build, and I serve this again, and I press enter, you see that it works, right? Now I can just press enter, and I can even do, for example, credits or something, press enter. You see, it just works, right? Very important. I think it's very cool. A lot of people are going to say, yeah, but Anthony, it's SQLite, isn't that, it's not scalable, and it doesn't really matter. I'm going to say this once again, performance, scalability, it does not matter right now. Right? You can easily handle like 10,000 and even more and 100,000 users without any problem with some tweaks and it's no problem. And even then, that's a shit ton of users, right? That's a shit ton of traffic. The moment your application is in that stage, you are doing a great job, right? And that's probably what preventing most of these so-called smarty pants developers that think that they need to write everything in Rust. What the hell was that, man? Did you saw that? And some balloons behind, so that everybody needs to write everybody needs to write these things in Rust, and you don't need to use that, and you don't, and you need to use a cluster and all that stuff. That's all bullshit, right? Because that's why they still cannot ship any single product, because they are still configuring their whole stack with Kubernetes, right? So that's nice, because right now I can have just one single repository with all my stuff in. And I have a great backend here that I can use, right? It's the complete, I don't know, you see it's still working. I can manage my collections, I can manage my users, I can do all my stuff from in the admin panel. And I can even take backups and all that stuff, right? And everything is just embedded into one single file. Easy peasy, right? So I'm very curious. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Let me know if you think that's cool. Let me know if you're going to use it. I'm using Remix as a front end, but it does not need to be Remix. You could use the new TanStack router or the new TanStack framework. You could use whatever that just Vite with React. It doesn't really matter as long as it just builds to some kind of a files. You are good to go. Right. If you're not subscribed to my channel, guys, I would appreciate that. Give me a thumbs up, the whole shebang. Join my Discord community where we're just learning 24/7 about these things, where we can discuss all the goodness that is happening in the world. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next one. Peace and love.